Hello everyone, my name is Pippo Ardilles from the Department of History, University of Indonesia. Now, I'm going to present my article with the title Indonesian Role on United Nations Transitional in Cambodia, 1991 until 1993. So let's begin. Political instability in Cambodia can be seen when the country is used as battleground for two ideologies during the Cold War. The coup launched by General Ronald against Prince Sihanouk became the starting point for the protracted civil war in Cambodia. It was repeated when the communist Meroch under Pol Pot forcibly seized the Cambodian government in 1975 and ruled the country roughly. In late 1978, Vietnam saw the Meroch rule in Cambodia as a security threat. Therefore, to secure its security interests, Vietnam invaded Cambodia and forced down the government of Pol Pot. Based on this, the Government of Indonesia sees two possibilities for the crisis that hit Cambodia. First, it can disrupt regional stability, and second, entering the 1980s, Indonesia wanted to see a broader foreign policy playing a leadership role in the region. Finally, UNTAC, a peace organization formed by the United Nations, was created at the end of 1991. Indonesia used it as a momentum to continue to carry out its interests, namely leadership. In general, the study seeks to find out the motivation of the Government of Indonesia in sending its delegation to Cambodia to join UNTAC. The research problem is reduced to three research questions. First, what are the factors behind the Indonesians' involvement in UNTAC? Second, what are Indonesians' role in UNTAC? And third, what is the impact of Indonesians' involvement in UNTAC? Talk about methods. This research uses historical research methods. The research is divided into four stages, namely linguistic, verification, interpretation, and historiography. In the heuristic stage, the writer searches for and uses both primary and secondary sources. The author's primary source was obtained from the Salimba National Library in a physical newspaper. Meanwhile, secondary sources that the author uses are books, journals, magazines, and internet sources. Then, proceed with the stage of verifying the data obtained. It also verifies the authenticity of each source. After all the data is verified, the data interpretation stage is carried out before the historiography stage. Indonesia does play a big enough role, but we must know, what are the factors beyond all this? Factors that become the trigger for Indonesia to participate are external factors. The protracted conflict in Cambodia makes Southeast Asia insecure. Meanwhile, Indonesia is using this to be able to appear more significant at the international level. One of the most determined of the Northland movement in 1992. While in Cambodia, Indonesia divides its duties into two areas, civil and military. Talking about Indonesia's role in UNTAC, it divides into two fields, civil and military. In the civil sector, Indonesian Foreign Minister Ali Alatas has always tried to approach and urge all warring factions to remain cooperative towards the Paris Agreement. In addition, in the military field, Indonesia sent the most peacekeeping troops from all participating countries, 4,000 personnel, called the Garuda contingent. The Garuda contingent also took a unique approach, different from other contingents, namely territorial development. Therefore, Indonesia has always been the liaison between all warring factions and UNTAC troops. Indonesia has also had satisfying impacts. We divide it into three parts. In general, for Indonesia, and for Cambodia. In general, the impact of Indonesia's involvement in UNTAC and the completion of UNTAC's task of holding elections made the return of the Southeast Asian area relatively more conducive, as well as politically and economically secure. For Indonesia, its participation in UNTAC and assisting the Cambodian peace process in general became factors in Indonesia's election as chair of the Non-Aligned Movement in 1992 to replace Yugoslavia. Indonesia has demonstrated its capability in resolving conflicts and has shown its consistent attitude as a non-aligned country. For Cambodia in general, Indonesia's involvement in UNTAC has ended the protracted civil war. It is seen from Indonesia's consistency in assisting the peace process in Cambodia before and during the UNTAC period. Finally, the study concludes three things. First, Indonesia's involvement in UNTAC begins with external factors. It was related to the threat of instability in Southeast Asian region that triggers Indonesia to act. Second, the presence of the Garuda contingent in UNTAC is considered very important. Their territorial development approach supports and makes it easier for other UNTAC troops to carry out their duties. And third, there are internal factors that are no less important that influence Indonesia's participation, wanting to play a leadership role and wanting to secure its national development. Thank you everyone, that's all the discussion of my article. See you later.